Cool. Blogging. Blogging is good? Cool. It's good to know. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I love that. Okay, so this is our session on hyperdocs. Okay, so basically what we're going to be using is Google Documents in a souped up version. We're getting hyped up, okay, that's kind of the point. Hence the music earlier, okay, great. If you have not already accessed this document, you can do this a couple of ways. If you have like an iPad, you can scan the QR code, or you can type in this short link. It is case sensitive, so this is a lowercase l, the lowercase l here. So I'll give you a few seconds to get in here if you haven't already. Let me know if you get stuck or you can't get in there. We'll check it out.
Is it capital B?
Yep, it's lowercase p, capital B, lowercase l, r, 9w. Morning.
Good morning.
How are you?
I'm fine. Did you start a little late? I got turned around.
It's summer. We're not on any schedule here, right? You are going to be number 14. Here you are. And everyone is just, take your time. We're accessing the document by typing in the short code. Okay. So while you guys are kind of getting in here, a couple of things. One, at the very top of your document, you might see a drive triangle with a plus sign. If you would like to add this to your drive so you can go back and look at this, feel free to click that, and you can add it to your own Google Drive, your own filing cabinet, so you can have this and keep it and use it, whatever. And then once you have that, you'll have your folder and you can organize it however you want.
What have you done?
Yep, so you have the drive triangle with a plus sign, meaning this is not in your drive yet. So if you want to add this to your Google Drive, so you can always go back to it, you can click that. Yes. And now it's added to your drive.
Oh, okay.
Okay? Yep. Just kind of by show of hands, how many of you are using Google Docs on a regular basis? Okay? How many of you are like, I kind of use it sometimes? Okay, is there, and be honest with me because I want to know for sure, is there anyone in here who's like, I don't ever use Google Docs, this might be a bit over my head? Okay, that's fine. So this is like a pretty souped up version of Google Documents. So if I go too quickly for you, please say, Katie, /hold on, you're going crazy, slow
Okay,
down.
where's that site? Where's that page again?
So if you type in goo.gl /p, uppercase B, lowercase l, uppercase r, 9w, it should take you to this document. Okay? So I want to make sure that everyone's clear.
Oh, I can't see.
I'm sorry.
Okay.
Yeah. We are working out of a document here, okay? And a lot of things that we're going to be doing are going to open new tabs as we are working. So I want to make sure that you are clearly understanding each one of these things across the top of your internet are tabs, okay? So if something disappears, it's probably because it just opened another tab, okay? So keep your eye out for the Hammond e-learning title. This is the tab we're working out of mostly. This is like our home document, okay? So if you're not sure or you lose it, let me know, but it probably is just going to be open in another tab, okay? So I want to make sure we're clear on that, all right? Everyone in our document, we good? Clear? Okay. So we're talking a lot about hyperdocs today, and a lot of times when people are using Google Documents, right, we're just doing pretty basic stuff with our documents. We're giving kids worksheets, right, which is fine. We have them type stuff. Sometimes they share it with each other and they collaborate. Cool. But how can we hype up what we're doing? How can we make this better? How can we really like soup up what our kids are doing to make our learning interactive? Because that's what we want, okay? So first thing we're going to do, and we're actually going to kind of play around with this. This is kind of a hands-on session. So I want to know who's in the room, all right? And we used to be the 10:35 session. We're not anymore, that's okay. You're just going to click here where it says 10:35. So again, notice this opened a new tab for me. So now I am in a different document. My original one is here, I'm in my new one, okay? Now, before you do anything crazy, be aware, and I put this in highlight everything and delete it, and it would all be gone. Not forever, because it's Google Docs, right? But be careful of where you're typing. Be a responsible digital citizen, right? Be careful where you're clicking, typing, highlighting, backspacing, all those things. I want to tell you right now, I say this to my students every time I gave them a Google document. Every time. I don't care, all right? So I used to teach 8th grade, and I used to teach 6th grade, 7th grade, some, I'm elementary trained. I don't care how old you are, you need to know every time. You need to be appropriate when I'm sharing a document, okay? These are just things I do a lot, okay? So, I want to know who you are. So we're going to kind of play around in this document a little bit. So your directions are there, okay? So I asked you to find the row with your corresponding number, hence this, okay? Then, we're going to insert a selfie using Google Drawings. So we're going to pair Google Drawings with Google Documents. So right now we're hyping up our use of this document by pairing it with Google Drawings. Has anyone used Google Drawings before? A few. Okay, so we're going to get some playtime. Love it. Okay? So we're going to do this, and I'm going to walk you through how to do this in case you're not sure. I will show you, or you can kind of play and try it yourself. Then I'm going to know who are you, what do you teach, okay? What's your favorite tech tool to use with you or your students? And then if you get stuck, obviously you have each other or you have me, all right? Things I tell students, right? If something doesn't work at first, don't be like, Katie, it didn't work, right? Just like with your students, you don't want them to be like, Miss Kapler, it's not working, right? Ask your partner, ask someone next to you, and then if you're really stuck, Katie, I think I'm a little stuck. Okay, great, all right. So, we're gonna do this. So if you already are good with this and you wanna try it, and you wanna go through and start filling in this information, awesome. If you want me to walk you through it, I will do that now.
So how do we do that selfie?
Yep, I'm gonna do that, okay? So, I've already gone through and I've typed in my information here. So my name is Katie Bradford. My contact information is actually under Kapler. I just got married a little while ago and Pfizer was like, yeah, we're not changing your stuff, sorry. So I'm officially Katie Bradford. My job is, I'm called an innovative learning specialist, which is just basically a fancy name for I help train teachers in technology, okay? I help you support what you're doing in your classroom. I used to teach middle school. Like I said, I taught English as a new language in Plymouth. I taught 8th grade language arts. I taught 7th grade remedial language arts. And then the last 2 years, I taught 6th grade project-based learning. And I was in a big room of 50 kids with the co-teachers. 50 6th graders at once. Makes you a little nuts. So here I am. Okay. And then these are my favorite tech tools to use with students. I really, really am happy that Kristen said this morning, hey, don't use 1,000 or 189,700 tools, right? Use 8. These are my 4. These are my go-to. These are the ones I used to use all the time, right? And so these are the things, right? If you're really overwhelmed, pick a few and work with them, right? So tell me which ones you have. So I'll give you a few minutes to fill in your information first, and then we'll go through and do our Google Drawing selfie stuff. Oops, some of you got it. Love it. I like it. Look at that. Cool.
How do we put in our pictures like that?
Yep. So right now, I'm gonna click where I want my picture to go. Okay. And just like the directions say, it says you're gonna go to insert.
Oh, okay.
No, that's okay. I was gonna show everyone, I just wanted to give everyone a second. And then I'm gonna go to drawing. This is Google Drawings. It's like another program inside of Google that you have access to. Super awesome tool. Okay, and it's gonna open this up for you. Right now you have nothing in here, okay, it's blank. This computer does not have a webcam on it, so I'm gonna have to do it on my laptop in just a minute, which is fine. But all you'll do is you'll click the icon right here, this image icon. And I want to take a snapshot. So there's no camera on here, and this is why it says. On yours, it probably says allow. It wants to use your camera, so click the green allow button. Let it do it. It's going to take a picture, and then take a selfie. Okay? And then I will do it on this one. So I can have my own picture.
Oh, this is okay.
If you want to, you can go back and edit it, and you can add some cool little shapes on there and stuff, make it real fancy inside of drawings if you want to get fancy with it. picture, right? If I wanted to though, I could always go back and I could add some like cool shapes or drawings or whatever to this just by double clicking, and I can open it back up now and I can like edit it. So maybe I want to add, I don't know, a little star or something. How about yeah, how about this? Woohoo! Okay, so give you a second to play around with it. Okay, we got some 4th grade teachers, middle school, 2nd grade, yay! K5, 1st grade. Yes, love it. Music? Oh, yeah. Cool. Good.
Oh, I agree with this. Yeah.
Did you do go wherever you're going?
Click allow, when it said no
Oh,
color.
yeah.
Yeah. I just pulled it out and
So one,
Thank you.
and I don't want to.
Thank you for helping.
Yeah. Then you wanna, do you wanna draw something wrong?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so we're gonna take a snapshot. Okay, and it's gonna ask you, can I use your computer? Do you wanna click allow? Then you close. Oh, who's in the room? Looks like there's a lot of really great, a lot of elementary teachers, which is awesome. Middle school, some high school stuff. Cool. All right. I'm going to go back to our original document, okay, which is the tab next to this. So I'm going back to our Hammond e-learning Get Hype document, okay? And I want to show you too, I'm really trying to model things that I would do for my students, right? Some of my kids can't type stuff, but if they have iPads, they can totally scan this QR code. It makes their life easier. My kids maybe can't read, right? But they know, oh, hey, this looks like something I would click on. Yeah, give it a button instead of words, right? So these are things I'm trying to like purposely model for you as we kind of go through this, all right? So our next step is like figure out, okay, what the heck is a hyperdoctor? Like you keep saying this, Katie, like what are you talking about? Well, let's learn some stuff, okay? So I'm gonna click here, and then also my contact information is here. So if you ever want to email me or you want to send me a Twitter message or follow me on Twitter, it's all there. But I'm just gonna click learn stuff right now, and it's gonna take me to the beginning of our document. So at the very top of our main document, where it says learn stuff run, step 3, right? Yeah.
You mean one more?
She needs to get back to the other page.
Oh, okay, so I moved back to our original document. There we are. And I just clicked learn stuff. Now basically what I did in order to jump this, because if you were to scroll, if you were like, oh, I'm just going to scroll through here, you're going to see I added some blank pages in there on purpose, right? The reason I did that was because I wanted to show you that you can jump to certain places in your hyperdoc. You can make it so wherever you click, you can go places. Okay? And the way that I did that was by adding bookmarks inside of my Google Documents. So, we'll come back to this. We'll have some playtime at the end for you to kind of play around with this stuff, but I want to show you what I did. I added my little button, my Learn Stuff button. I put this in here. And then I wanted this to jump to this page. So I clicked right here where I wanted it to go, and I went to Insert, Bookmark. Mine's here, I'll put smart. There we go. Right here. And this basically puts a bookmark in my document. It's kind of putting a placeholder there. So once I do that, you'll see it has this little blue flag here, right? It's bookmarking this specific spot in my document. And later, what I did was I went back up here and I said, hey, when people click learn stuff, I want to, I'm going to remove that right now. So I'm going to click this and I want to link. I want to link this to somewhere in my document. So I click my chain link and now it says, hey, bookmarks. Yeah, I want to put a bookmark here and here it is. I just select it. You can basically have as many bookmarks as you want. So now when I click again, it takes me back to where I want to go. All right? So this is what we're going to do. This is kind of self-directed learning. This is kind of on your own pace, again, just because this is kind of what I would do in my classroom, all right? So what we're going to do is I'm going to give you some time to figure out how can you, as a classroom teacher, or if you work in other capacities, how can you use your Google Documents, hype it up so that students have an interactive experience with their learning, rather than just looking at a worksheet, right? Because essentially that's what we're using Google Docs for a lot. We want kids to do their work on it. How can I make it so it's interactive now with themselves, like their classmates, and also the content? Because both of those things are important. We want students interacting with content and with their classmates. So what I'm going to have you do, okay, I'm going to have you go through and I'm going to have you do step 1 and 2 right now, all right? So what you're going to do is, obviously, you're going to click on the go button in just a second. You're going to read through the things that are there. You're going to follow the directions. You'll kind of take some notes if that's helpful to you, whatever works. This is your learning, so take your time, all right? And I have tried my very best to provide some examples of hyperdocs in lots of different areas. Okay, so that way you can kind of see what that really looks like. How are people using this in their classroom, kind of at your grade level, okay? So I'm going to give you about, I don't know, let's say 10 minutes and then we'll check in, okay? If you have questions or you're stuck or something, let me know and then we'll come back, all right? So rock on, go ahead and we'll check back in about 10 minutes. By the way, if I was doing this with kids, I would pull my kids who I know can't work by themselves and I'd be like, let's do this together. I would pull a small group, just FYI, but no, they are doing learning on their own now.
Oh.
So I'm not, yeah, this is kind of at their own pace. So they're sure. No, that's totally fine. Yeah. No, that's okay. No worries, yeah.
Pretty much this page here, are we able to have this, put this in our Google Drive?
Yep. If you click the drive, like that little icon up there, yep, now it's added to your drive.
Okay, so I don't want to be taking notes, I want some of the visuals there.
Yep, you got it, and you can come back to it anytime you want.
Okay.
Okay, maybe about 30 more seconds here, and then we'll all kind of come back together as a group. Give you about 5 more seconds here. Okay, so looking at this, right? So you walk through a couple of things and you looked at some examples. Talk to me about what you noticed, just what stood out to you, especially thinking like in your grade level or your content area that you teach. What stands out to you as something that you feel like is useful about these things?
I feel like using Google Classroom and different things, I kind of like think that I post stuff all over the place for kids, and if I kind of have everything in one place, it probably like save me time in class and have them be less confused, less questions.
Amen, sister. So many people say that. I love Google Classroom, except if I want to give a lot of different stuff to my kids, it fills up my Google, like the stream, and now there's like 50 things in there, and that is too hard, especially for lower L kids. They cannot figure that out. Do one, and there you go. Okay? Other things that stand out to you, Dustin?
It's easy for them to see where to click, and especially for like the kids who the only time they use a computer is in your classroom, that's so easy for them.
Yes, making it visually understandable, all right? Even as an 8th grade teacher, I probably had 5 or 6 kids who could not read. They can't read. If all I do is give them directions in writing, that's not going to help them. That does not help them learn the content. They need to be able to understand, what do I do, right? So making it visual is super duper important, even for your upper L kids, your high school kids, whatever. They need that visual part of it. Other things that stick out to you that you notice either from the directions or from the examples?
Links to read aloud, just YouTube videos and whatever else.
there's links to lots of different things. It's lots of different learning. It's not just reading. It's not just videos, right? There's things for them to do. And so all of a sudden, kids who maybe necessarily don't learn well by reading have an option to also watch a video, right? Or listen to something.
So, just like on an example where I had their names, you would just share it with them and then they all could put up the same thing.
Yeah, and so what I did was I just linked to that document inside of here. So they didn't even have to go find that other document, right? And all of a sudden they're interacting. They could even do that with content, right? They could read something or watch, like a read aloud, and then type in, what was your favorite part of the book? Or what was the theme of this book? Or whatever, right? And all of a sudden they can see everyone's answers. They're interacting with the content and each other. Bingo.
What about using this as an assessment tool? Like there was I'm a language arts teacher, and so I looked at the egg round poem,
Yeah.
and I thought, well, this would be a great end product for a kid.
Yep. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, and so a lot of these, like, they could make their own copy of, like, the final things, or you could even just say, this is in Google Classroom, and find it in Classroom. You could give them the direct link right to it in Classroom. You could make an assignment or something in Classroom and get the link to that assignment and link it in this document, and it will pop them right to that assignment in Google Classroom. Super easy. So, other things? Anything else?
Well, and it's changing too, like every time you click, it's somewhere new, so it's not like we have to be like, so animated, and it already is.
Yes,
It
that
keeps
helps.
them focused.
Right? And the one thing, and there is like another side of that, right? So a lot of kids, if they get a little bit lost, right, because we're opening a lot of tabs. That's the only thing that's a little bit tricky, okay? So what I tried to do at the end, when you watch that slideshow, when you click through that slideshow, I tried to put a link back to the original document. So that way, even though it's in another tab, you're still back where you need to be. I just thought about that because I know some of my kids, like they're like, where to go? I can't find it. You know, and that can be overwhelming, especially for your lower L kids trying to figure out where their tabs are. That might help you. Okay. Cool. We're gonna go ahead and we are going to do step 3. So I've had you kind of interact with the content. Now I want you to kind of interact with each other. This is actually, you guys did a Padlet this morning. This is a Padlet wall. This is what we did with Kristen this morning. Super cool. We're going to do the same thing. Okay, so we're going to kind of chat about this. So I'm going to ask you to participate in the Padlet wall. You're going to click the image and it should take you to our Padlet wall. Our question is at the very top of our Padlet wall when you get in there. And you're going to want to make sure you type your name in and then answer the question that's there and ask for help in your chat. So how could HyperDocs impact student learning in your classroom is the question I'm asking. If you don't have a classroom, just kind of in your line of work, right? Even with adults, our principal used to use stuff like this a lot for our PD. He would kind of flip our PD a little bit and then work with small groups or whole, like, you know, clusters or grade level groups to work with them. So. Totally fine. Go. No, that's okay. So like you're okay. So I'm in our main document. Okay, and I'm on step 3 of our part. So I just
Double click to get a square. Double click on the green. There you go. On the right. All the way to the left, rather.
Oh, okay, got you.
Yeah.
What happens if you refresh your page? There you go. It just is again. No, I always am like, when in doubt, refresh your page, right? Try it again. Yay! Thank you for adding a picture. Yes, on Padlet, you can add pictures, you can add links, you can add videos, right? So for your kiddos who can't write, you're like, my kids can't do this, they can't type stuff. Great! Have them make a video and post the video here. Have them take a selfie holding up their math paper of how they solved their problem. Yeah! They don't need to write stuff. Typing their name is going to be enough, right, for those kindergartners. So. they're like, yeah, I'll take a picture, I'll add it in.
You ever do these on?
Yeah, so I'm seeing, okay, a lot of people are saying, yes, this helps with engagement, absolutely, I love it. It helps them work collaboratively, yes, it puts all of that work in one spot so they don't have to keep going finding lots of different places to collaborate in, absolutely. Cool. Right, you can help them learn stuff that can kind of be dry. I'll tell you right now, anytime I had to teach grammar, sentence structure, when I was teaching language arts, my kids would have rather sawed off their arms than learn grammar, okay? Doing stuff like this, like at least it helped a little bit, right? Like I could tie it into stuff that at least they were like, oh, I can click on stuff, I can take a picture, and it gives them a chance to interact with it. Google Drawings helped, saved my life when I was doing grammar stuff, made it way easier. This, I will tell you right now, I used to do Padlet walls like probably every other day. Like exit tickets, just check-ins. If my kids were doing brainstorming, even as like a do now or like a bell ringer, I would say log in and click on the Padlet wall and show me an example of a simile that we learned about yesterday. Give me an example of a metaphor, whatever. You can, take a picture of your math paper and show me how you solve problem 7, right? Whatever. Kids who didn't do problem 7, you got no picture, right? Like just quick ways to check in with kids. Super easy to set up. Padlet wall, this is not high tech. So if you're like, I'm not techie, it takes me a while to figure it out, this is an easy one. This is one of my 8 go-to tools that person was talking about earlier. Like, this is one of them for sure. Cool.
So how do you put the question up there in the corner?
So when you go, and this is one of the things I'll show you when we have some playtime or work time, if you just go to padlet.com, you'll have to log in, but you can log in, I think, with your Google account. I think you can. And then you just make a new wall and you type it in, and there it is. That's all. It's basically all it is. It's set up. It's super easy. Other questions or thoughts so far? So again, here, this just opened another tab. You're going to see across the top where the tabs were open. I'm just going back to our main document. I'm not switching out it. I'm just going back to our document here. Okay. So this is where we're going to try it. We're going to spend some time kind of creating a new document. We're going to play around with basically how did I start setting this up? What did I do to kind of do this? But before I do that, I want to share some of my helpful tips for you, things that I found over time using these that have kind of helped me. One, use tables, okay? Google Docs can get really messy if you don't have any place to organize the information. If it's just text, kids don't read it. They're not going to read it. I don't read it. As an adult, I don't read it, right? So we need a way to make it organized, so use tables, okay? Obviously, grade appropriate images and relatable visual items, right? So you'll notice here, even all the way at the top, right? I tried to add buttons. I put pictures here instead of my information. Here, I tried to use images that would indicate kind of what we're doing. So even if I can't read, I know, oh, hey, I'm going to read some stuff right here. I'm going to look at some stuff right here, right? I'm going to talk about some stuff right here. This helps. And normally what I try to do is I try to use the same images over and over again so kids kind of get that, oh, we're going to do reading now, or we're going to do small group work now, or whatever, okay? So that's kind of some things, right? Use easy to see colors in text if you're going to use yellow, orange, even white sometimes, depending on what color you're putting in as a background. Just be aware that it's hard for some kids to see, and so just kind of be cognizant of that as you're going. Like I said, use linked shapes and buttons for text, right? So you're like, okay, Katie, where did you get all those buttons from? Where did you get all these things from? Well, here you are, some of my favorite ones. Okay, The Button Factory, that's really the name of it. These are all links, by the way, so if you were to click on this, it would take you to the website. The Button Factory helps you make those buttons like the click here, the learn stuff. The Noun Project and Flat Icon, these are free open source images, okay? So they're free for you to use as long as you give credit to them. And when you download them, it turns into these pictures. So these are all from the Noun Project, and you'll notice way down here, you can even see it, right? So who cares? This is super easy. These are great for your kids to use too in presentations and stuff if you want them to share. Just here, free pictures for them to use without any copyright issues. The Noun Project is all black and white. The flat icon ones, you can add color. So you can add your own color to it. So if you like color, you can add your own. Open clip art, so if you're more of an elementary lower L teacher and you want like more clip arty pictures, those are free and open to use. Or if you want to get really fancy, you can use Google Drawings and make your own. So if that's like super like next level stuff, you could. Like I said, we use bookmarks, and obviously this is what I really try to do. I think about my lowest student. My student gets off task the most, the one who can't read, the one who can't work by themselves because they cannot do things without me sitting right next to them or checking in with them. These are the kids I designed these for because everyone else will be fine, right? They will do just fine with this. So as you're building these, think about those users of like who's going to struggle the most and how can I make it most accessible to them, and if it's accessible to them, it's fine for everyone else. Okay? So let's make one. Let's do it. Let's do it. All right, you guys ready? We're gonna make a loop. All right, here we go. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to make a new document. I'm going to start with a blank document. Okay? If you're not sure how to do that, the easiest way is to go to File, New. If I go too fast, make sure you tell me, okay? And I'm just going to click Document. Like I said, I almost always start with tables. Okay, so I'm just going to insert a table right now. Table, insert, right? And you can make it as big or as small as you want to. You're like, hang on, Katie. There's 3 boxes here, and I want this to be the title. I want all of these to be open together. I want to merge these cells. Okay, we can do that. No problem. Okay. So if I wanted to merge these, all I have to do is highlight the 3 cells that I want. Right click or 2-finger click on your Chromebook. At the same time, so push with 2 fingers will be the same as your right click, right? And once I do that, I'm going to see the option to merge cells.
I think I just need you to be in my class, remember?
So here's the thing. I don't know if you guys know, Hammond, so I work for 5 Star. Do you guys know what 5 Star is doing with Hammond? Has this been shared with you at all? 5 Star Technology has been hired by Hammond Schools to kind of support like technology use. So I work with Alicia a lot. I know she does most of your training and stuff, but for her to get to all of you guys, holy cow, like that's like, she's insane. I don't know how she does her numbers. That's crazy. So basically what 5 Star is doing, my boss works with like the administrators, your administrators, and does like trainings and stuff with them. And typically when I go into schools, I do trainings with teachers. And so if there are specific things that you would like trainings on, let your like principal know, let Alicia know, let Ken manage know, like let them know that you want me to come in and we can do stuff like this in your buildings or do some planning time. I basically am hired to help you. So you can send me an email, be like, Katie, I want to do this, or like let me show me a document you made. I'll give you some feedback on it. Absolutely. Like I'm here for you guys. Like I'm supporting you. Okay. So when I click merge cells, right, here we go. Now I just have like a title. And you basically can go through and you can do all of this here.
So where did you click though first to get there?
By table or a new document.
To merge them.
So I right
The little
clicked.
thing right there?
So I 2-finger clicked. Do you know how to right click on your Chromebook?
Two of them?
Yep, that'll be like
Okay.
Then go down.
Okay.
Not that I know of. And I'm a Bradford by marriage, so I have no idea, honestly.
There's 2 vendors.
Oh, you know what, I think
Okay. Cool, right? So easy. I just want to make sure we're all good with the basics, right? If I want to insert a picture, I can drag and drop it from my desktop, but more than likely on your Chromebooks, you probably don't have that, right? So if I want to insert a new picture, I can always go to Insert, Picture, Image, right? And here I can upload a picture, so if you have something here, you could upload it. You can take another selfie if you want to add your selfie, your picture in here, right? Or like this is a good time, like if you want to have your kids like put something, or you want to take a picture of yourself holding a book or whatever, right? You can really do that. Your URL, if you have pictures in Google, or I like this one, the search feature. I can actually search Google Images right here, right now, and put them in my document without leaving my document. This is so good for elementary kids, and all of these pictures that we're searching are copyright free. They're free and open to use. So maybe I want to insert a picture of something math related, right? So I'll just search math. Sure, great. these are free and open for me to use. I'm gonna click this one, click select, and booyah, I'm gonna get a picture in here. Sweet, right? And I didn't even leave my document, so just easy to add pictures. Questions about, I'm so happy. Okay. Now the question is then, how do I make this a link? How do I make this picture a button so I don't actually have to type math? Because maybe I'm making my daily agenda. So maybe I'll put math here, and then reading here, and then science here. Maybe I want to do that for my elementary kids, okay? How do I make it so it takes them to the math website or whatever that I want them to do, okay? So how do I link this? It's the same as if you're going to link text. You'll want to have open another tab wherever you want them to go. So maybe I want them to go to, like if you guys do IXL, I don't know if you use the IXL or not, right? So maybe this is the website I want my kids to go to. I'm going to copy the URL for the website I want them to go to. So I'm going to highlight, copy, Command C, I think, or Control C on your Chromebook is copy. I'm going to go back to my document, wherever it is, here it is. If I select the picture, like, hey, this is the picture I want it to be, right? And I'm going to add a link, okay? So your link, the chain link button is here. And then I'm going to paste in here. I don't think I can do it from here. Just going to paste that link to IXL that I copied and applied. And now this is a link. So when kids click on it, ding, 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 here it is. It's going to take them there. So then over here, I might put their directions, right? Complete lesson 4 in IXL. And now it takes them there, or whatever, so this is easy to do. Then maybe your check for understanding, right? Maybe here is take a screenshot of your completed lesson and pop it in here, or whatever. Okay, so like you can make it so that like kids can do it. It's kind of cute.
You know what, I keep losing my, my original icon picture here when I'm trying to put in my link. So I'm trying to see what exactly am I doing wrong.
Okay, so do you have a link already that you want?
Yeah, I've got this one
Okay,
here.
so you copied that.
Yeah, I already did.
Okay. So now click your picture. Okay, and now click on the chain link there. And paste in.
I clicked on paste.
Command or Control V is paste.
Oh, okay, now here.
Well, you can do it that way too, it's up to you.
So this is what I did. I did it up here.
Oh, that's why, because it's taking your picture. So that's not, yeah, that's not the way we want to do it. So if you click your chain link again.
Yes.
And now
And then
Control V
click the link
for you. There you go.
Oh, okay.
And then apply. And now here we go.
Oh, okay.
Okay, great. Okay, so questions about adding pictures or adding links?
That means that applies up for that.
Oh, it copy it.
Let's say a couple of things that I want to do. Maybe I want to add a bookmark. Okay, so let's do that. Let's practice that. So when I click somewhere, it takes me to a different part in my document. So maybe I want it to go to like step 2, right? I'm gonna make this bigger. So like maybe after they've done their math, maybe I want them to go on to reading or whatever it is. Okay, and I want my reading to be like a couple pages down. So I'm just going to insert some pages. So I'm just going to go up to Insert, Page Break. This is going to add me some extra pages here. Insert, Page Break. Maybe I'll do another one just for the heck of it, right? I don't know. Okay, and so maybe step 2 is going to be here. Reading, science, whatever it is that they're doing. Okay, so I want when kids to click on this step 2. When they click this, I want it to automatically take them all the way down here to this next page. So this is where I want the bookmark to go. So I'm going to make sure my cursor is here. I'm going to go up to Insert, Bookmark.
I don't see page break on here.
On Insert, it's Insert, Page Break.
I don't see this.
Under
It's
Insert?
like broken into 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 like little sections. The top one is the last section.
Yeah, I don't see it on here. I'm gonna insert right here.
Oh, it's because you're in your tables, you can't add a page break inside the tables.
Oh,
Yeah.
so it's.
That way
it's
it's not
not
like
but in order to add a page break, you must have a
Oh,
page.
separate, okay, so out of the table.
Your words can go in the table, but your page break can't do in the middle of the table, is what I'm saying.
I'm hearing now that's.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
No. Because like when I press, yeah, exactly. So when I press that, I'm like, step two.
Okay, I have never seen that happen before. That's
Okay.
really interesting. Click your pencil, click editing. Hopefully that will stop it. And so you don't want to suggest you maybe you're just in the document. That's what you're doing. Okay. So I added my bookmark, right? So I slid, this is where I want my bookmark, so I went to insert, bookmark, and I know it's there because I have a little blue bookmark in it, okay? What I want to do is I want to make it so this, right here, when kids click this, it takes them to that part. So I'm going to highlight the words that I want to be like a button or a clickable link. And again, I'm going to go to my link. We're linking everything. We're linking so many things. That's basically what we're doing. Now this time, when I do this, I could paste a link, or you're going to see, once you've added some bookmarks, they're here. And I want it to be step 2, because wherever you put your bookmark, it's going to take those words and put it there. So now I do this. And now this is it.
And it's underlined, did you do that, or is that?
It's automatically, because any links like that will, that's how you know it's a link, basically.
Wait, can you do that again? So I got all over
You
it.
bet. I'll do it again. I'll undo it.
So I have to highlight inside the table, I have to highlight the step 2.
So yep, I inserted my bookmark here. This is where I want kids to be directed to.
Okay, sorry.
This is down at the very bottom, right? So this is like where I want kids to go to. So like this is like 4 pages down, 3 pages down, whatever.
Okay, so I went to insert and then I clicked on bookmark.
Okay, and you got a little blue little bookmark, right?
Yeah.
Okay, great. Now, up at the top, this is what I want to be the link, right? This is what I want to be the button.
All right.
So I highlight it. I click
Right.
my chain link button.
Right.
And instead of pasting a link here now, I'm just going to select my bookmarks, and it's going to show me any of them. If I have like 15 of them, they'll all show up here. They'll all be here. Okay. Now you can do this 2 different ways as you're building this, right? You could insert everything that you want and then go back and link everything, or you can do it kind of step by step like we're doing it. It's kind of how your mind works. It's kind of up to you how you build this. To me, I like to go through and put everything in and then go back and link it myself, just because that saves me time sometimes, but it's really up to you how you do that. Okay?
If you insert like extra pages, say between these, those links stay connected, right?
Yes. So let's say, okay, I'm going to insert maybe like, I don't know, another page break. I'm going to insert like 5 more pages. Here we go. I got a bunch of pages here now, right? This bookmark still stays here. It's still going to take me to this one.
Can you have the icon of the clicker on there for kids instead of when you hover over it, click on it, and then have to click on it?
So, okay, the reason why, what you're seeing right now, like when we do this, you are editing this document. So when you do this, it shows you this, right? Okay? When you give this to your kids, you're probably going to make it so they can only view it or make their own copy. In view only, you don't have that problem. Because when you guys were looking at my document, right, you didn't have that. You clicked and it took you to the place you wanted because you were view only. You do not have rights to edit it. If you have the rights to edit the document, then you would have to click this. So if your kids have it, like if they're doing their own very own copy of it, then they would have to click that button.
The same would be true with can comment. That would be the same as can edit.
No. Can comment would be,
Like, would you be able? Because it looks like it's only in can view that you would not see this link come up.
right, you don't, in can view. And the same thing in can comment, I don't think that it wouldn't do that. I think you would just be able to click right on it and do that. So I haven't played with that. Did you try it?
Yeah, I did. And she was looking at the same image that I was looking at.
And
I
then
shared
did
in
it
can
pop up the
comment.
link or whatever? Oh, okay. That's good to know. I didn't know that, so, okay. That's good. Okay. Other easy things to do, just kind of changing the background color, right? So like maybe I want this to be a different color instead of white, right? So I want this whole cell to have a different background color. right? Your background color, okay, just be aware, this is your font color or your highlight color. This is not going to change the background of the whole cell. So that's mine's ignore. Hang on, I never created the cell. Yeah. So mine is this paint can. Your paint can is your background color. And you'll know that when you hover over it, right? So you can basically pick whatever color you want, and it's going to change that whole background here for you. Okay, so if you want to kind of do that, that's how you do that. So let's make sure we got all that, right? We added tables, we added images, colors, right? It's easy to put our buttons in here, right? Google Drawings, adding bookmarks, anything else? Questions that you want, or things that you want me to show you how to do? So what I'm going to do, basically, you have some time to just kind of play around with this. Just FYI too, here are some other resources. They have some really great examples of things like that I didn't necessarily put on here. Or if you're really kind of interested, there's an article. It's kind of interesting to read. These are just resources for you here. But feel free to kind of play around. Maybe go into some of these and try adding a button or a flat icon or whatever to your document. And then I'll answer any questions that you have kind of as you're drafting.
Do any of those websites show us a little bit more beyond what you just showed us, how to put these pages together?
So like these extra resources, is that what you're talking about?
Yes.
Yeah, so some of them, will walk you through step by step kind of how to put stuff together.
Okay.
Some of them have just other examples of hyperdocs that people are using. Like some people have templates up there that you can just copy and use and then kind of adjust it.
Oh, okay.
So we're just making it from scratch. We were starting.
Yeah, because that can be pretty time consuming. Probably a lot of us might not have time to
Right.
really put these
Yeah,
together.
so these the collaborative palette, there's a bunch of basically teachers post examples of hyperdocs. Go in there, make a copy of it, and use
Modify it as needed.
Yeah.
Okay, did you type where you want to go? Where you go? Oh, I think you need to have a place where it goes. So,
Remember, your goal on this is not to make a pretty worksheet. That's not the goal of hyperdocs. If that's what you're doing, you're wasting your time. Just give them a regular worksheet, right? But if you're making it so you can do something new, so they can interact with the content, with each other, that's the goal. Okay? We don't want just a bunch of pretty worksheets. That's not going to help.
Because you did this part before you did the bottom part.
Anyone know what's on the menu for lunch, by the way?
It's from SubHub. That's all I know, because Alicia keeps tweeting, thanks to SubHub and Hannah for making lunch happen today.
I'll take it.
Yeah, we're right on Yelp too.
Again, I just want to remind you, my contact information is here if you ever want to send me an email. If you're stuck or you're like, hey, how did you add a bookmark? Hey, I don't remember. Quick, send me an email. If you're on Twitter, feel free to follow me, tweet at me, whatever. Oh, my second question was not for today. I'm going to do all your stuff. Oh, looks like people are going to lunch. So if you're ready, feel free to do what you need to do. Do me a favor and throw your little numbers away so I don't mess up my next group brain, so that way they don't, you guys don't remember who you are. Have a great day, you guys. I don't know how you are here on your first day of summer vacation. Like, props to you. Holy cow. Woohoo.
Thank you.
You are welcome.
Your bookmark.